Welcome back to Wild Drama Stories, where you get all the drama from a safe distance. Timestamps in the description box. Story 1. Opie writes, I know the title sounds bad, but hear me out. I, 28 female, and my husband, 28 male, are being called a-holes after not wanting to give his brother, 25 male, and his girlfriend, 23 female, baby clothes I offered a while ago. Husband and I have 2 girls, ages 7 and 2. My friend has had her last baby girl right before I had my last, so she gave me all of her baby clothes, which were a lot. We just moved, and I didn't have time to go through them. When I did go through them, there were so many clothes my daughter couldn't wear. So I asked husband if he knows anyone having a baby girl. We could give them to them because a lot of them still had tags on them. He then told me brother-in-law and his girlfriend are pregnant and to ask if they would like them. A few weeks later, we go over to my in-laws for dinner. I should add, brother-in-law and his girlfriend live with them and they do not have a job. They were talking about the baby, so I said, quote, Hey, if you guys are having a girl, I have a whole bunch of baby girl clothes I can give you guys, unquote. Then sister-in-law looked like I offended her with my offering, then said, quote, We don't need your stupid girl clothes because we're having a boy, unquote. I then asked, quote, Oh, did you guys already find out the gender, unquote. She then said, quote, No, but I know we're having a boy. All the wives' tales point to a boy, and I even have dreams of a boy, unquote. Then brother-in-law says, quote, Yeah, I'm having a son, so keep your girl clothes for when you give my brother another girl, because that's all you can give him, unquote. Husband stepped in and told him off and told me we're leaving. And we left, but not before mother-in-law started to berate us for insisting they were having a girl. So we went low contact. Husband and I found out we were pregnant during this time, and I decided to go through the clothes again and kept half to myself just in case, and donated the rest to a group who helps with mothers. We decided to wait to tell anyone after we find out the gender. Well, when they had their ultrasound, the doctor said it's a girl, and they still denied it. The baby was born, and guess what? It's still a girl. We bought them a few baby girl outfits for a welcoming gift. Then brother-in-law and sister-in-law asked for the clothes as they only had boy clothes for her and they didn't think that was appropriate for a cute little girl. I told them that they told me that they didn't need my stupid girl clothes as they were certain the baby was a boy. So I gave them away already. They got mad and started to berate me, so I cut them off. A week after that, we finally announced at my birthday dinner that we're pregnant and having another baby girl. My in-laws went off on us for upstaging brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and now they understood why I kept the clothes for myself instead of helping them out with clothes they really needed. Also, the in-laws have money and just bought her a whole new wardrobe for the baby, also for sister-in-law. Now the whole family is calling me an a-hole for not giving the clothes to them. My family and husband is on my side, but I can't help but to think I am the a-hole. Am I the a-hole? Opie, no, you are not the a-hole, but your brother-in-law and your sister-in-law are a-holes on so many levels. They're rude, sexist, ungrateful, and just all around mean. The same goes for your in-laws, and I really feel sorry for that baby girl. Let's get some comments. Someone says, You offered them the clothes. They could have declined politely, but they were incredibly rude about it. You gave away lots of the clothes and kept some for yourself. Them not having any clothes for a girl is a direct result of their immature actions, refusing to believe they were having a girl and being rude to you before they found out the gender. It was okay that they asked the first time, but you had every right to decline or to keep the clothes for your own baby that was coming. At the end of the day, you didn't owe them anything. You tried to be nice, and they nearly bit your head off over it. Not the a-hole. They don't deserve a scrap from you. Someone else comments, not the a-hole. They said they didn't want your, quote, stupid, unquote, clothes. They didn't just decline the offer, they insulted you in the process. I don't understand why you care what any of them say now. Even your husband thinks his family is wrong. Do not discuss these or any other baby items with any of these people. Let's get 2 more comments. Someone says, not the a-hole, and I feel sorry for that poor girl child. I hope her parents pull their heads out of their asses. And someone needs to explain to brother-in-law that it's his genetic contribution that determines gender. Hopefully there are some recessive genes for intelligence in the mix. And our final comment, not the a-hole at all. You asked them multiple times about the clothes, and they gave you very snotty, uncalled for answers. Their answer was a strict no. You then could do whatever you wanted with the clothes at this point. It sounds like you have 2 people playing parents, living with mommy and daddy, who need to do some serious growing up. Story 2. Opie writes, throwaway. Me, 27 female, and my husband, Seth, 30 male, have been together for over 5 years. Last week, Seth had to travel out of state to attend his sister's wedding. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend due to work-related issues. Seth was gone for a whole week, and of course, I missed him terribly. Seth and I don't get much quality time together due to our stressful work schedules. I was still happy that he got to spend some relaxing time with his family. Yesterday, Seth and I finally got the opportunity to spend a day off together. We decided to go for a cruise downtown in our new car and then go out to eat at our favorite restaurant. Seth posted about our date night plans on social media. The day started off very well until we got to the restaurant. As soon as we got to the parking lot, we see my mother-in-law, 51 female, standing near the entrance. She bolted towards us and gave Seth and I a big hug. She said that she saw our plans on social media and decided to join us. I was already very upset, but I bit my tongue because I didn't want to make a scene in public. I just tried my best to hide the fact that I was not having a good time during dinner. After dinner was over, we all headed out to the parking lot, and I said goodbye to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law said that she would join us back at our place to have some drinks. After she kept insisting that she'd join us at our house, I finally snapped at her. I said, quote, "Look, I want to spend some alone time with my husband. We almost never get to be alone together. You just spent a week-long luxury vacation with him while I was stuck at home alone. You already ruined our date by barging in on our dinner plans. Just get lost." Unquote. My mother-in-law looked horrified. She started crying and power-walked back to her car. Seth was stunned and started scolding me about how cruel I was to his mother. He said that I should have just expressed to him how I was feeling instead of making his mother feel unwanted. Am I the a-hole? Well, the verdict on this one is that everybody sucks here, and I have to agree with that. Mother-in-law sucks for inviting herself along on the dinner date and then insisting that she goes home with them. Husband sucks for not taking control of the situation and talking to his mother. And Opie, while I understand why you were upset, I can just picture you on your romantic dinner date with your husband and his mother. That would upset anybody, but maybe you could have worded it a bit differently when you told her to get lost. But then again, you did say she kept insisting on joining you for drinks at your house. So I kind of understand why you blew up. Well, let's get some comments. Someone says, not the a-hole. Mother-in-law wasn't invited. She intruded on your time with your hubs without asking. At the end of the day, she's the one at fault. Could you have been a little less harsh in your tone? Sure, but sometimes you have to spell it out or people will never get it. Oh, and the hubs is a slight a-hole too. Someone else comments, everyone sucks here. Your mother-in-law was definitely out of line to invite herself, and your husband should have recognized her behavior was inappropriate and addressed it. But it's also right that you could have handled the situation a lot better. Since you said you saw her as soon as you got to the parking lot, you could have spoken to your husband about how to handle this before leaving your car. One of you could have headed the whole thing off at the pass with something like, quote, "Hey, this was really intended to be a date night since we haven't had a chance for any alone time recently, but we can definitely make plans to get dinner together some other time," unquote. Bottled up frustration tends to lead to an explosive outcome like this one. And our final comment on this: everyone sucks here. Mother-in-law for barging in on your date after she had just spent a whole week with your husband. You for telling her to, quote, "get lost," unquote. You could have said, quote, "Mother-in-law, I haven't seen my husband in a week, and we wanted to have a romantic night. Surely you can understand," unquote. Your husband also sucks for not immediately upon seeing his mother at the restaurant telling her, quote, "Mom, I just spent a week with you and I want to spend the evening with my wife. Why would you invite yourself on our date?" unquote. Why indeed. But anyway, on to story number 3. Opie writes, "My cousin has a wedding coming up this next weekend and it's about 6.5 hours round trip drive. A while back, it was suggested by my aunt that me and 3 of my other cousins carpool. I recently asked which of us would be driving, and they pretty much all simultaneously nominated me. Now, I truthfully don't mind driving at all, but I live paycheck to paycheck currently, and with gas prices the way they are, I told them that if I was driving, I'd need them to chip in for gas. They all essentially said, quote, "No, I'm not chipping in. You can just drive us," unquote. I at first read it as joking, but eventually realized they actually had no intention of chipping in. I kindly but firmly told them, quote, "If you can't chip in, then you won't be riding with me," unquote. I explicitly expressed that I wasn't upset and understood if they couldn't chip in, but that it did mean we'd have to drive separately. This caused them to be defensive and say I was wrong, and that I should just suck it up and drive them. No reason for all of us to spend money. I am now wondering if it's unreasonable to ask them to chip in for gas money. I don't want to be the bad guy here, or to come off as needy. Am I the a-hole? Genuinely ask here. Anything welcome. Opie, you're not the a-hole. Your cousins are being very unreasonable and unfair towards you. Let's get to comments and then we go to OP's update. Someone writes, "Not the a-hole. You wouldn't be in normal conditions, let alone with the insane gas prices right now. If you're the sole driver, I'd expect them to pay gas entirely, to be honest, because they get to ride while you have to drive. Maybe even buy you lunch. Your cousins are being very entitled." And our final comment, "Not the a-hole. Chipping in for gas is common decency, I think. It's what I've done on road trips in the past. Are you also attending the wedding, Opie? If you're doing this as a favor to your cousins and it's totally out of your way, I'd say it's even more important that they chip in for gas, and they'd be totally out of line if they didn't." And here's OP's update. My uncle found out that my cousins were adamantly saying they weren't going to chip in. Essentially, he told them what to take their heads out of, and there's no doubt in my mind they'll chip in now. Thanks for all the confirmation I wasn't crazy. Well, that's it for now. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you again next time. Until then, wishing you a drama-free life.